secrets, are ye?
No, sir.
Let Neptune strike ye dead, Winslow!
Hi everyone, I'm Joel Mears. I'm the editor-in-chief of Rotten Tomatoes, and today I'm here with the director of the Lighthouse, Robert Эггерс, and one half of the madness at its center, Robert Pаттtinson. Welcome, guys.
Hello, thank you.
So, first question I'm going to throw to an audience review that came in for your film over the weekend from a guy named Alex. I won't give you his last name, but he said, "I don't understand what the fuck is happening here." And I'm just wondering if you can help. You guys have a great score. Actually, the audience score is really high. But can you help Alex out? What is happening here in the Lighthouse?
I mean, I think that's a fair question to ask. I think that even people who enjoy the movie, I hope that they are kind of exiting the theater asking that very same question. But you don't. I mean, it's just two guys going crazy in a lighthouse.
I think the audience ends up in the same place that both the characters end up in by the end of it. You just everyone gets caught in the same riptide.
I mean, think about how twisted his character becomes trying to discover and understand what's going on in the movie. So it's only fair.
And then you're adding foghorns and things to drive us insane the entire time.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you read the script? Because I know you wanted something weird. Did it satisfy that itch?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know if I wanted something weird as such. I mean, I just kind of, I talked to her about a couple of other things. I'm always very trepidatious, is that the right word, about playing English people in period dramas, because I think when you are starting out acting in England, you're basically, that's it. And it seems like if you do one, then you're kind of locked in for a while.
Yeah.
And so I was always, and that's kind of why I went to America pretty early on. I wanted to play Americans, and I wanted to. I mean, I do feel very English, but I kind of didn't necessarily want everyone to immediately identify me as English. But then with this. I remember reading it and said, this doesn't really count as a period drama at all. It doesn't count as a period piece. It is a period piece, but it's it just seemed like it was using the period elements to make it seem alien rather than to make it seem familiar. I feel like most period things, they have to kind of check a lot of boxes, first of all, and it kind of puts me off. But this is the kind of colloquialism of it and the kind of specificity, it made it just feel very unique more than anything. It's pretty genreless.
Yeah, I want to talk about genre in a second. Why was Robert the person to play you from? Winslow?
Who else could possibly do it? I mean, I think Rob carries a lot of mystery with him. I don't know if it's the way your eyes are set, but no, when Rob was saying that he turned down a role that I offered him, that he's so smart about the roles that he chooses, and he's looking to work with auteurs and wannabe auteurs like myself and take on challenging work. I mean, I think you did use the word weird, but I think, but you also said that it wasn't challenging, and that is what makes Rob such a great, brave actor, is that he's looking for challenges all the time. So, whenever you see a film that he's in, it's quite staggering because it's always different from the last one, and he is taking these big risks. I just mentioned to him again that I rewatched Lost City of Z, and there's a moment when he just sees a dead fish and says "extraordinary" 4 times, and I thought, fuck, that performance is extraordinary.
And it's an incredible performance in this film. Watched it yesterday. The buzz coming out of the theater, second time, was, Rob, you just knocked it out of the park. Nice. But you're matched sort of in intensity by Willem. And I'm wondering, what was it like working with Willem in such closed quarters when the script sort of demanded this kind of madness?
I mean, Willem, I think everybody loves Willem. I mean, I think it's kind of impossible not to. But he's kind of... I mean, there's a couple of different things. When you read the script the first time, his part could be so dark, like so kind of venal, and like there's definitely a world where it could be just horrifying. And there's just something so mischievous about Willem. Like just no matter who. Like I love like his performance in what is it called? The Nick Cage, Laura Dern movie.
Well, the Heart.
Well, the Heart. Like playing the worst person in the world, and has that kind of intensity and terrifying focus, and then he has that ability to just switch so fast on a dime to make it like like you can make something a joke immediately. You never quite know where you stand, and he's very, very good at doing that. But like, and also it's funny because I was doing we were with this rehearsal stuff, and I could see I was kind of going like, okay, I see kind of what Willem's doing. I'm gonna hold back. When I've got my big moments, I'm gonna try and shock him, and like just Willem. Whatever you throw at Willem, he so immediately can absorb what you're doing and then to completely recalibrate his entire performance on the dime again, and suddenly just be like, and then to consume you. He can just make himself so huge afterwards, and like no matter, like if you start screaming and shouting, attacking him, he can eat you and then throw you up back into your own face.
You had a lot of fun. Yeah, that reminds me of the night of you guys just getting, I guess, blackout, drunk, crazy in the film, I should say. Was that fun to direct and to watch happening as it was shot?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly fun to work with these two actors who are up for anything, game for anything. Like they signed up to this knowing that they were going to be like punished. There's been talk about Rob wanting to punch me in the face.
Didn't really.
What's that?
Didn't really.
It's okay if you did. But
I didn't.
But we were shooting a scene. It's raining.
Yeah.
The rain's not reading in his close-up, so we have to get the fire hose so that we can see the rain in the close-up. But because when you get
puts the fire hose on his face,
and that's making it harder for Rob to do the action. So we have to do take after take after take. But and if you did want to punch me, that's understandable. And we did use the final take, just so that you know. But Rob, if we needed 3 more, he would have done it, and he would have done it harder than he did it the last 3, because that's the kind of actor he is.
And so that night where you're blackout and you're dancing and you're
into the blackout.
I'm gonna go straight there. You're hugging. It's all the stages of a massive night out that ends up with you being hungover. But what did you do to prepare to get in that frame of mind? Were you drunk? What was the situation there?
No. Well, we shot that in sequence, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of
rare for this movie.
Yeah, and so it's kind of. From the dancing thing, I mean, it was like a lot of energy expenditure, but it's kind of, I don't know, something, it's just, a lot of the script, no matter how, like, even the kind of abstract nature of a lot of it, I always just felt very cohesive to me, and I kind of knew where it was coming from. Even if I wouldn't be able to define explicitly, like, exactly what it was, you could really feel the tone just in the writing. And then I think we'd shot quite a lot by that point, and so I kind of got how you'd be feeling, and also the song that Willem's singing is a very beautiful song. That's kind of, but so much of the stuff. I mean, it's kind of you never really get a part where it has these kind of these 180 turns all the time, like the kind of from that dancing scene to the fighting afterwards. I mean, it's kind of. It was so specifically written in the script, and even to the stance, which they were going to be boxing each other. And then even when we were shooting that afterwards, I remember we were doing the fight. We did one take where the fight was just sort of kind of just fighting. And we were like, I just needs something else. And this guy was like, needs to be strange, needs to be stranger. Which immediately, it kind of shows me and William. Immediately, take 2, both just grabbing each other's dicks.
That wasn't in the script, was it?
No, that was. I said there's no improv in this movie, but I suppose that was.
Both our instincts. Like, yeah, no way to take it.
But yeah, I mean, and they were really punching each other.
It's also Willem, I swear to this day, was just putting his middle finger like this. He's punching just right in my ribs. And I was like,
God.
Jesus, no padding.
So you had some other co-stars in this movie, sort of following on from Black Phillip, you went to Seagulls.
Yeah.
How was that like to direct animals again? And what was it like working with the seagulls?
The goat, you can't train a goat. So don't ever make a movie with a goat in a major role. Film students, don't do it. But the seagulls were incredibly well trained. They came from the UK, like Rob, classically trained British actors hiding there, doing Maine accents. But they their names were Lady Tramp and Johnny, and they were fantastic.
I don't think I ever had any interaction with the seagull.
That's editing.
Yeah. I had one interaction with the rubber chicken.
When people have to watch that scene because it's pretty great too. Robert Эггерс, I'm going to call you Эггерs and Pats, but Эгgers, you're part of a sort of new wave of horror filmmakers, at least for your first film, who came out the gates with these incredible, I'm thinking Jennifer Kent, Ari Aster. And I feel like you guys went away and chatted and said, for our second films in 2019, we're just going to screw you up. And we're not going to give you anything that looks like a genre film. And I wonder, what genre is this movie? And I guess the question is, what are you guys doing with sort of stretching the elasticity of genre at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, that meeting of the three of us did happen, and it was and I don't know how you found out about it because
Jennifer told me.
Okay, of course. Anyway, I don't know. I bow down and pray to the altar of genre every day because it was able to get this movie and the other movie made. What genre is it? I really couldn't tell you. I think that a lot of ways it's like in many ways it's like the literary genre of a weird tale, like the work of Blackwood, M.R. James, Arthur Machen. But because of a lot of the sort of theatrical traditions that it draws from, that doesn't quite fit either. But I've had journalists and other people who get my intentions and our intentions who said that they see it as a horror movie and they actually think it's scary. I don't think it's scary. I hope it's it's slightly dreadful at least. But I don't mind if it scares people. And really, we need people can call it whatever they want, and we need to have these labels so that we can talk about things. The only thing that bothers me is when my fellow nerd brethren feel like you need to have an exact list with exact boxes checked to call something. It doesn't matter when the late Iron Age ended and the early Middle Ages began. In academia, they do have the same kind of arguments, but we're all just trying to find words and ways to talk about stories that we like. So we should it should be fine.
Robert Pаттinson, how do you describe it? If I was to ask you, do you find it scary? Do you find it?
I mean, you're probably just going to be like, what are you talking about? You're wrong.
No, I'd love to hear it.
No, I mean, because it's kind of, there's lots of grotesque stuff in it, but it doesn't really, I don't think it's scary as such, but it's kind of, what appealed to me the most in the script was that sort of humor where I remember the first time I read it and I wasn't entirely sure how much of you even knew it was funny or which bits, because I didn't really know what it was supposed to be, and but it kind of reminded me of kind of Buñuel stuff, kind of in Chien Andalou, the kind of when you, it's sort of, it's sudden images of which are just really really frightening all of a sudden, but it's not kind of really concertedly trying to build tension to have a specific release. That you're kind of, it's sort of the tension is built up and then you're just part of the tension afterwards. It's kind of
it's a tense, we'll just call it a tense genre.
A tense.
But it's kind of and also a kind of dark comedy. I mean, it's kind of sort of surreal comedy.
It is hilarious. Just before we wrap, your next film, The Northman, do we know what genre that's going to be?
Musical.
Musical. Very excited.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you can tell us about it?
It's a revenge drama, whatever,
Very exciting. We'll have this chat in 2 years and see how we describe it then.
I mean, I don't even, until that was leaked, not announced. So I don't even know if I don't even know if I'm going to make it.
This is unofficial. Okay.
I hope I do.
All right, great. And Robert, your next film, tell us anything about that. Are you excited to take on the Batsuit?
Yeah, very, very. Like,
Awesome.
It's still far enough away to not be nervous. This is still a fun part for me.
Thank you guys so much. The Lighthouse is in theaters now. It'll be expanding. Check online to see if it's coming to you guys, coming close to you. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cheers.